Hello everybody, and welcome to Electrical Engineering. This channel will cover all things electrical. If you've ever wanted to know how power plants work, or radio waves, or even microchips, this channel is for you. This channel will help you understand the simple topics in electrical engineering all the way down to more complex topics. So buckle up and let's learn. To begin with, what is electricity, and how does it work? What are circuits? Well, they are all over, from cities that use enormous amounts of power to vehicles you see every day on the road. Microcontrollers that control heating and cooling, and even smartphones and tablets. All these devices and much more use electricity in one way or the other. In order to understand these complex machines, we will start with more basic topics, such as circuit analysis. We can understand how electricity works by understanding how different components work. Each component works differently than the other, and they each have a different symbol to represent them. We can combine these components to do useful things. As we add more and more components together, the total circuit becomes more complex. If we add enough components together, we can create really cool objects like computers. Once you know even a little bit of electrical engineering, the amount of things you can create is limitless. From playing around with LEDs and changing their colors, to making guitar amplifiers that you can rock out with friends. Alright, we will focus on 3 topics today. The first of these topics will be current, denoted here with a lowercase I. You have all had to plug your phone in at one point or another. Why? We plug in microwave ovens and refrigerators, but why? Well, because of current. All of these devices need electrons to work. The way we get these electrons is by connecting a wire to our device. This allows the flow of electrons to get from the power plant to our device. We can visualize how electrons move in a material if we zoom up into the atomic realm. In the atomic realm, we find some of the smallest things, atoms. The middle part of an atom is called the nucleus. The nucleus is made of protons and neutrons, but for our discussion of current, we will stick with the nucleus. The outer part of an atom is what's called the electron. They are much smaller than the nucleus, and they also spin around the nucleus. Many times, there are a bunch of electrons spinning around, not just a couple. However, we will look at a simplified version to better understand how current works. Now we are looking at 2 atoms, and we only see the outermost electrons. These atoms probably have many more electrons, but for now they are hidden. Current happens when electrons travel through a material. Let's say a free electron comes in from the left. It then travels through the material and interacts with the electron in the first orbit. It can either knock the electron out of orbit or get redirected in a new direction. Next, it might even hit the second electron in orbit and knock it out or get redirected in a new direction. These interactions happen very quickly and might look something like this. Thus, the electron that started here interacted with the electron in this orbit. Then it moved over and interacted with the electron in this orbit. Finally, it made its way through the system and continued moving out towards the right. When this happens many times, a current has been created. Current is the flow of many electrons from one direction to the other. The second topic we will look at today is voltage, denoted by V. Voltage can be thought of as kind of like a pressure, or maybe even like gravity. Here we have a copper piece of metal. Inside our piece, we have some free electrons. Let me ask you a question. Do you think these electrons are going to move? Well, if you guessed no, you are correct. No, these electrons will not move by themselves. In order to move, they need something to push them. That is where voltage comes into play. Voltage acts like a pushing mechanism and pushes the electrons through the copper. A couple of things to be mindful as we continue. Voltage does not move, only current moves. The last topic for today is resistance. Again, we have a copper piece of metal. We also have some free electrons. Do you think these electrons will move fast through the metal? Well, not really. They actually have a hard time getting through to the other side. They have to push past all the other electrons in the metal, the ones still connected to the nucleus, and this makes it quite hard to pass to the other side. In fact, that is where resistance comes from. Different materials have different resistance. It is a material property. Electrons will have to fight their way through all the other atoms to get to the other side. In closing, we looked at 3 topics today. Current, which is the movement of electrons, voltage, which is the pushing force for the electrons, and resistance, which is the material property that wants to stop the electrons. In the next video, we will dive into how each of these is connected to one another in what is called Ohm's Law. Take care, and see you next time on Electrical Engineering.